Hello students, in today's section we discuss about the spherical mirrors. Okay, in last few sections we discuss about plane mirror now. In plane mirror we consider one glass plate and one of its surface is polished now. Then other surface is acts as reflecting surface. Okay, now in case of spherical mirror, let us consider one sphere. This is a thin glass hollow sphere. Okay, it is not a circle, it is a sphere, three-dimensional hole. Okay, like tennis ball. Understand now? Now, within this sphere, if you take a small portion, okay, and one of its surface is polished, then it is called as a spherical mirror. What is spherical mirror? Spherical mirror is a part of the glass hollow sphere with one of its surface is polished. Is it clear? Now see, if inner surface of this spherical shell is polished, then outer surface acts as reflecting surface now. Then this type of mirrors is called as convex mirrors. Okay, if inner surface of the sphere is polished, then outer surface becomes reflecting surface, that is called as convex mirror. If outer surface is polished, then inner surface is acts as reflecting surface, then it is called as concave mirror. Understand now? So convex mirror and concave mirror both are the parts of the thin glass hollow sphere. Or understand? So what is concave mirror? Concave mirror is nothing but a part of hollow sphere in which outer surface is polished and inner surface acts as reflecting surface. Is it clear? This is called concave mirror. And if inner surface of the hollow sphere is polished and outer surface becomes reflecting surface, then it is called as convex mirror. So there are two types of the spherical mirrors are there. One is concave, another one is convex. Are you understand? Please note it down. For analyzation of image formed by the mirror, we required some standard terms. Those standard terms are similar to both concave mirror and convex mirror. Or understand? These terms are related to the both spherical mirrors. Okay? Let us discuss about those terms. The first one is pole. It is denoted by the P. Okay? What is a pole? Pole is nothing but center of the mirror. Okay? So center of the mirror means this point. It is called as a pole. Okay? Next. Second one is center of curvature. It is denoted by the C. What is center of curvature? Center of curvature is nothing but, we said concave mirror or convex mirror is part of the spherical shell now. Okay? So the center of the spherical shell of which mirror is a part is called as center of curvature. What is center of curvature? Center of the spherical shell of which mirror is a part. Understand? Now, third one. It is principal axis. What is this? Principal axis. Principal axis is nothing but a line which is passing through the both center of curvature and pole is called as principal axis. What is principal axis? A line passing through the center of curvature and pole. Clear? Next, radius of curvature. Denoted by capital R. Radius of curvature. What is the meaning of the radius? Radius is nothing but center to the edge now. So, the spherical shell, okay, the radius of the spherical shell of which mirror is a part is called as the radius of curvature. So, radius of curvature may be from C to P, okay, or radius of curvature may C to some point A. Radius of curvature may C2 from some point B. Understand? What is radius of curvature? It is nothing but radius of the spherical shell of which mirror is a part. Understand? Now, the last one is aperture. Aperture. Aperture is nothing but the effective diameter of mirror. Effective diameter of the mirror. So from this point to the ending of this mirror, edge of this mirror is called as aperture. Understand? What is aperture? Aperture is nothing but effective diameter of mirror cross section through which ray of light incident on the reflecting surface. Okay, this is not the diameter of the spherical shell. It is the diameter of the mirror only. Are you understand? Now let us see all these terms related to the convex mirror. Okay. So what is convex mirror? Inner surface is polished, then outer surface acts as a reflecting surface. Now, first of all, P is nothing but center of the mirror. So here P. C, center of curvature is nothing but the center of the spherical shell, of which mirror is a part. Understand now? Or observe, for convex mirror, center of curvature is in this side. For concave mirror, center of curvature is in this side. Always keep in mind. Now, third one, principal axis. Principal axis is nothing but the line passing through the pole, and the center of curvature is called as principal axis. Radius of curvature. The radius of the spherical shell of which mirror is a part. So from here to here, radius of curvature, or C to P, radius of curvature, or from C to B. Okay, it is also called as radius of curvature. Last, aperture. Aperture means the effective diameter of the mirror through which ray of light is incident on that reflecting surface. Are you understand? So this is for concave mirror, and this explanation related to the convex mirror. Please note it down. Now listen carefully. If any light ray which is passes very nearer to the principal axis, any light ray which is passes very nearer to the principal axis, those rays are called as paraxial rays. What are paraxial rays? The rays which are nearer to the principal axis. Understand? Maybe some rays are far away from the principal axis. Those rays are called as marginal rays. Those rays are called marginal rays. Understand now? So what are paraxial rays? The rays which are passing very nearer to the principal axis. Otherwise, another definition also there. The rays which makes a very smaller angle. The rays which makes very smaller angle like this. Okay, those rays are also called as paraxial rays. Here the angle is just lesser than the 10 degree with the principal axis. Then only those are called as the paraxial rays. Understand now? So in ray optics, this spherical mirror concept is restricted to the paraxial rays only, and the aperture of these mirrors is very small. Understand? Aperture is very small, and we discuss only related to the paraxial rays. Okay, for understanding purpose, everywhere we draw the diagram very large, but you must consider only the paraxial rays. Okay, so what is the angle made by them? Theta less than 10 degree. So whenever his angle is very small, we know for smaller angles sin theta nearly equal to theta, tan theta nearly equal to theta, but cos theta nearly 0 indicates that cos 0 value 1 na. So cos theta is equal to 1. Okay, if theta is small, anywhere if you observe sin theta or tan theta cos theta, they are just replaced as sin theta as theta, tan theta as theta, cos theta as 1. Okay, is it clear? Please note it down. Now listen. If suppose a parallel beam of light incident on the reflecting surface of the concave mirror. Parallel beam of light. Parallel beam of light means consisting of more number of light rays now. On that, for my convenience, I considered only two light rays. This is one light ray. It is another light ray. In between, very huge number of the light rays is available. Okay, but I considered only two rays. Okay, listen carefully. Now, this light ray touches at one point on the concave mirror. Okay, now at this point, draw a normal. Draw normal. It is not a plane surface, it is a curved surface. For curved surfaces, always keep in mind normal must be passes through the center of curvature and the point where it strikes the mirror. Any time, please keep in mind what is normal. Normal must be drawn from the center of curvature to the point where it incident on that mirror. So draw a normal here. This is another ray now. So at this point draw another normal. Okay. Now we know laws of reflection. Laws of reflection are applicable for plane surfaces as well as the spherical surfaces. Okay. That's why for this type of spherical mirrors also laws of reflections are valid. So what we learn in laws of reflection? Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Na? So here if suppose this is angle theta 1, With what angle it incidents? With that same angle it is reflected now. Okay, so it will be reflected like this. Okay, now let this angle is some theta. What angle it is incidence? With that same angle it's again reflected now, so it may reflected like this. Are you observe? Those two reflected rays are meet at a point or not? Not only two rays. If you take a beam of parallel light, then all the rays are meet at this point. Okay. So the reflected rays meet at a point. That point is called as principal focus. What is that point? Principal focus. All these are the important terms here. You must be remember before entering in-depth analysis of the spherical mirror. You must be known all these words. Without this, if you directly go to the spherical mirrors, you didn't understand. Okay, please concentrate. So what is principal focus? Principal focus is nothing but all the reflected rays are converges at a point. That point is called as the principal focus. Clear? Now coming to the convex mirror. Again, you may take a parallel beam of light. For convenience, I take only two rays here. Okay, your wish, you can take any number of rays. Now, this is touches at one point here and another point here. Brother normals. What we said about normal? Normal must be passes through the center of curvature and point of incident where it strikes the surface now. So here this is the normal and it is the normal. Okay, with what angle it incidents? Okay, from loss of reflection, with that same angle it is reflected back. At what angle it incidents? With the same angle it is reflected back. Are you observe? These reflected rays are diverges from the surface now. Okay, that's why if we extended these rays in backward direction, these rays are appears to be meet at this point. Appears, not real. Here real. Okay, but here appears to be meet at a point. So that point is called as the principal focus again. Okay, so here F is again called as principal focus, but it is virtual. It is real and it is virtual. I understand? That's why concave mirror is also called as converging mirror. Why it is called as converging mirror? Because after reflection, all the rays are converges and meet at a point. That's why concave mirror is called as converging mirror. Convex mirror is called as diverging mirror. Why? After reflection from the surface, they are diverges now. That's why it is called as diverging mirror. Every time. Okay. Now the last point, the distance from the pole to the principal focus is called as focal length. What is focal length? Distance from pole to the principal focus. It is called as focal length. See here, pole to the principal focus. Understand now? Please use this symbol only. Don't use any other symbols like F. Some people using like this. It is not correct. Please use the symbol of focal length only like this. Is it clear? So for converging lens, focal length is negative. For diverging lens, focal length is positive. Anywhere, if you use the concave mirror, then this focal length is always negative. If you use convex mirror, then its focal length is always positive. Are you understand? So, in today's concept, we learn about the spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors are two types. One is concave mirror, another one is convex mirror. Concave mirror is called as converging mirror. Convex mirror is called as diverging mirror. Are understand now? So in the previous section we discussed about plane mirror. Plane mirror always forms a erect image, same size as object. Size of image in the plane mirror is similar to the size of the object right now, but the magnification of concave mirror or convex mirror are different from the plane mirrors. Okay, we may discuss in the next day. I understand the in the next section we may discuss about all those points. Thank you.